Good morning, everyone. Episode 38 of the Asana Morning podcast with a French toast. Today, I want to talk about something that we've done recently at the company that has been very successful, which is create a project to list and maintain all our processes. This has been amazing. This came from the fact that we sometimes felt like we were doing the same thing or actually reinventing the wheel in terms of processes, and we had a bit of tasks here and there to list, a checklist of things to do. For example, when we would sign a new client, when we would create a new tool, when we would add a new form. There's actually a ton of things that we do very often. We decided to put everything into a single project. So we have one task for each process, and then the description is used to describe everything that this process entails. We also added a couple of fields, including who is actually involved with the process, how long does it take, and how often do we do this process. We added those three fields in order to be able to compute how long each process takes on a monthly basis and who's involved with them. Because for us, the next step is to look at the workload of people and see which processes we should improve first and which processes are the ones we should automate with potentially code. So if you see that there's something that you do like 5 hours a month, it probably makes sense to spend a couple of hours trying to automate this in order to scale it or just save that amount every month. So this has been very successful. It has been successful because we also forced ourselves to always go back to that process and improve the list. And every time we had to do that thing, we would go back to that task and look at the checklist. And that was facilitated by the fact that the link to the task itself has been placed in very strategic locations. For example, if you have a recurring task telling you to do something, instead of storing the actual checklist within that recurring task, we would only place a link to the process. That process is a task stored in our processes project, and we use that task to discuss in the comments and maintain an up-to-date description about what the process is about. Again, it has been really successful. I can only encourage you to do the same thing, have a project with all your processes and improve that over time. And I actually did the same thing personally for things like cleaning up the coffee machine. There's a process for this, and this is something I do like once a month. And every time I had to go back and fetch the documentation to find out the process. So I actually took a picture and I stored this into a task within my personal project, and I would go back to that task. The same thing applies to lighting up the barbecue outside. There's a whole process, there's iterations, there's things to avoid, troubleshooting. There's a lot of things that are involved, and I summed everything up into a task, and I'm going to check out that task as often as needed. So I really encourage you to do the same thing, and if you do, let me know what you think and let me know if it works. Have a good day, have a good week.